Hello, everybody. Welcome to Axelar's September community call. We have a larger group than usual this time, and I'm really excited about it. I guess I'm just going to go in like clockwise order here. To my right immediately here on the screen is Kate, our community lead.
Hey, guys.
And then continuing around beneath her in the Hollywood squares there is Jake from the BD team.
Hey, guys.
We've got Fig, co-founder of Squid and community member.
Hey guys, great to be here.
New team member Ian.
Hey, how's it going?
On the socials, controlling the socials, and up around Eli. You all know Eli, needs no introduction. And my name's Galen. So we're gonna kick this thing off and talk about what's been happening over the past month. We'll get into some of the projects that we're working on with a project called Squid and kind of what that makes possible for other applications building cross-chain using Axelar. We'll talk about some of those new partners who've come on in the past month, in the month of August, and then initiatives that are happening in the community as well. And we'll wrap it up looking back and looking ahead to events where you can catch up with Axelar IRL. So with that said, maybe I'm just gonna send everybody away here if I can figure out how to do that, and I'll start getting into some of the tech updates and content that we've published in the past month or so. So, few interesting developments of the past few weeks. We've got I think I just lost sound in my earphones. We've got a mainnet upgrade that went live successfully, fairly smooth. Should have some new information about features that are rolling out with that in the coming week, so do stay tuned. We also are, speaking of news that's coming, we also are working on upgrades to the satellite demo app. So that should be going live within the next couple of days. So if you're interested in satellite or if you're already a user, definitely join the Discord. If you select the satellite role in the Pick a Role channel, you'll be up to speed on everything that's happening with satellite. It's also a good place for discussion and questions about satellite transactions and tracking, monitoring transactions using Axelar Scan, the explorer that we provide. Also in engineering, the Axelr Bug Bounty is increased. We have 2.5x'd it. It's now a $2.5 million bounty. You can get details on that program via our partner Immunify. Please, if you're interested in bug bounties, take a look at the types of vulnerabilities we're targeting with that program. A couple other things just in engineering, development, technology related. We have a number of we're always trying to produce new tutorials and content for developers who are building on Axelar. So we have a number of new things that are available on our YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/c/AxelarCore. Or if you just search Axelar on YouTube, you'll find these videos and our channel. We did a demo earlier this month on how to build a cross-chain NFT exchange, a live coding session going end to end. That's about 30 minutes long on building that DApp using general message passing. And then we also did a kind of an overview walkthrough of the developer environment that Axelar provides, which is I think people think of building cross-chain as being fairly complex. We try to make it pretty easy. Most of the functions can be accessed via API. So the developer environment is one of the things that we've built to make that process simple for developers. And a couple of the members of the engineering team, Jackie and Vlad, walked through that live in an AMA earlier in the month of August. So that's also up on our YouTube channel. And finally, a blog post that went up from Sergey in the month of August, looking at different architecture choices in how to build a cross-chain DApp. Definitely go to axelar.network/blog and check that one out. So that's it, I think, for technology and content updates from the month of August. As I mentioned, stay tuned because we'll have some exciting news on those fronts in the coming week or so. And I'm going to bring Fig, the co-founder of Squid, back. to talk about more exciting things. So, Fig, I need to make some changes to my settings. While I'm doing that, go ahead and tell the listeners here on the call, what is Squid and what does it do?
Sounds good. Thanks, Galen. Hey guys, nice to meet you. Well, I guess I'm meeting you virtually, but I'm a co-founder of Squid. Squid is a liquidity router on Axelar. So we enable you to swap any asset from one chain to any asset on another chain via Axelar. We use Axelar's generalized message passing. So we wrap up swaps on dexes on any chain, and then bridging tokens across, and then swapping on the destination chain as well. And because we're built on generalized message passing, it's like fully composable, just like, you know, a crypto app would be on a single chain. So yeah, super excited. Been building on Axelar for a while now, and yeah, great to be on.
So I mean, the question actually that I still have, which I have like some understanding of, but I still need to really understand it better, and probably maybe other people on the call are asking as well, is where does kind of, in terms of what you can do cross-chain, where does Axelar stop and Squid begin? Like, where does Squid pick up from what Axelar provides?
Yeah, so Axelar takes care of security and like generalized message passing. So you can just send any arbitrary data, but you know, that data might not have any shape, or it's doesn't have any contents necessarily. And Axelar also provides a native bridge, so you can wrap, say, like USDC on Ethereum, and then get you know, synthetic, you know, bridged USDC on another chain. And Squid takes those two components, the Axelar USDC bridging and the generalized message passing, and then we build something on top. So we build, we've got some smart contracts, we've got a back end, we've got a front end widget as well, which you can use. And those basically take care of calling dexes. So you've got Uniswap and Ethereum. We'll do a swap on Uniswap, and then we'll call Axelar's generalized message passing and bridge some Axelar USDC across. And then on the other side, it hits a Squid contract, smart contract, and then grabs that Axelar USDC that came out of the bridge and then swaps it into a native token on the destination chain, say that's Avalanche. And then gives it to the user or does something else. So yeah.
So, okay. So correct me if I'm wrong, but like when it comes to liquidity on Web3, this is a little bit of a I drink your milkshake kind of a scenario, right? Like where anybody can build a dApp, and if there's a pool of liquidity somewhere, they can tap into it and they can bring it to the users in their dApp. Is that right?
You mean with Squid or on?
Yeah, like if I'm building a dApp and I need liquidity for my users, there's a DEX out there that has built that liquidity, that has aggregated it.
Yeah,
I now have access. I now have like ready access to that, and I'm not exactly like drinking your milkshake per se. It's not like I'm necessarily, you know, taking the liquidity out of your pool, but I may be taking your users off of your front end. Right? They may be now more likely to interact with my dApp if my dApp is better, has cooler features, and I don't have to worry about the liquidity piece. That kind of moat of liquidity is gone in terms of attracting users to an application. Is that?
Well, I mean, we use existing liquidity on each chain, so we don't steal liquidity from anyone. But we partner with dexes on each chain, and then we use their liquidity to get into other applications. So I don't know if there's not necessarily with our design that no one has to move liquidity around or like change that liquidity. Yeah, we use everything that's existing.
Yeah,
yeah.
So like TVL and you know, basically TVL becomes like less of an obstacle to starting a new dApp. You can start a new dApp that combines or composes different features from various other dApps or your own features that you've developed.
Okay.
And you can kind of compose that liquidity.
Yeah,
it already exists elsewhere, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So like the way, I see what you mean. So basically what Squid means is that you suddenly get access to users on any chain, no matter where they are. They can interact with your app, and no matter where you are, they can interact with your contracts or your app with a single click. Yeah. So you can sort of start to claim your total addressable market, which is like a startup term of like how many users can use you or how much liquidity is available, is like massive. Like it's the entirety of crypto.
Yeah.
Basically.
And for your users, they're not, I mean, I think there's a bit of a mode or a roadblock for somebody starting new where you're like, well, the liquidity isn't there. Liquidity begets liquidity because, people naturally go where they can get their trades executed without slippage, right? Or whatever, whatever the thing they're trying to do is, right? And with that sort of like, I don't know, incumbent advantage in a way is reduced by the ability to from day one kind of tap into those liquidity pools, but provide your users with an experience that doesn't involve them. Okay, go over here and do this and then come back, type of thing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the barrier to entry should be like as small as possible.
Yeah,
in crypto, and we're partnering with some fiat on ramps as well. So it's not only within crypto, but you can go from MasterCard or a Visa to anything on crypto. Like you can suddenly sort of offer your application just to anyone with a credit card. And it doesn't matter where you're built. And obviously there's restrictions there and regulations, which are up to
started thinking about that.
It's possible.
sounds dangerous. I was like, wait a minute, I have a credit card. So I think, it's really compelling in a way when you think about how that it differs from a Web 2 world where, information is such a moat and a barrier to entry. Right. And I think a lot of people talk about like sort of owning your own information, owning your own data. I think for, certainly for a certain, group, I'm one of them, like that's important. But I think when you think about a mass audience, it's like, what is the kind of compelling use case? And you might imagine a world in which, because these things are composable and permissionless, because application developers can just combine them, there's none of these like moats that create these kind of walled gardens where things stagnate.
Yeah, exactly. So, this is like why I'm so excited about Axelar and what we're building. In that before you had these sort of isolated blockchain areas which weren't connected, and so each one of them had to be like a generalized blockchain. Just be able to you needed DEX, liquidity.
Yeah, right. You had to build your own DEX.
Yeah, like everyone, it's like everyone had to build their own like little computer.
My own order book. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, exactly. So now, like each application or each blockchain can like totally focus on like one use case,
right?
And
that's good.
Yeah, and they can use Axelar to like the motherboard that combines, the graphics card with the storage. And, yeah,
cool. The motherboard, I like that. That. We've just been talking about how Stripe for Web3 has been well received. We've sort of started talking about that. Nice. What is Axelar? What is Axelar? We had been talking about Axelar as Akamai for Web3. But it turns out nobody knows what. People don't know who Akamai is.
Yeah, Stripe for DeFi, 100%.
Yeah, Stripe for DeFi, or fill in the blank. NFTs too. We have a lot of I think Jake will be talking about that in a minute. We have a lot of interesting NFT projects that came on in August, mostly I think due to attracted by general message passing, right? Makes a lot of things possible. One thing actually, Fig, that I want to leave with here, and I promised I would ask you this, is how many chains? How many chains will there be? And I don't mean like how many ecosystems. I mean, how many blockchains, including dApp chains, how many relevant, when you think about all the, if Squid is going to connect all the chains, right? How many will there be? How many chains do you have to connect in order to connect all the chains?
This is in the future, right? Not right now.
Yeah, exactly. In the sort of future state of Web3.
Yeah. I mean, I'll preface it by saying predictions are impossible, but I mean, the internet has like 13,000 networks. It's actually broken up into like individual networks. So why not? I mean, I've heard Sergey say like millions of blockchains.
Yeah.
Who knows? Yeah, and it's the other thing you got to consider is that blockchains, once app chains become a thing, like a proper sort of adopted thing, where you spin up a blockchain just for a single use case, we might have like ephemeral blockchains. So it's a bit like, you spin up a blockchain just for a few seconds to run a process and then it disappears. And that seems like totally ludicrous right now, but I think that's probably going to be possible.
That doesn't seem ludicrous at all. I hadn't really thought about it before, but absolutely ephemeral blockchains, like for a single use. I mean, certainly we've talked about a blockchain to serve the needs of a single app, right? And I mean, Sergey's put it this way, and I think this is well put. Like, if we're not building for apps that need that, what are we even doing? Right? If we don't envision a world where there's an app so big that it needs its own blockchain to handle throughput, then why Web3? Let's all go back to Bitcoin. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and Bitcoin's the original app chain, right? It's built just for a single purpose, and
it's true.
You're right. I mean, we've seen TYDX do it, go from an L2 into its own app chain, and it'll probably need multiple as well, sharded into chains.
I think, speaking like in those terms, if you think about like go back to Bitcoin or whatever, I think honestly, like the number of chains is either like 1 or 2, or it's 2,000 or more. It's not 200. I think I could safely rule out a world of 20 relevant chains or 200 relevant chains. But I still have some part of my mind that thinks it's possible there might only be 2.
Yeah, I mean, it's either that trajectory.
Well, okay, I'm probably not going to be here next month, guys. After I said that,
The chain is over. We're all going to L2 Bitcoin. I mean, we've seen, there's obviously, there's lots of really smart people who talk about that, but like we've seen, just as a pure necessity of the ecosystem, us trying to scale horizontally, and like new app chains and other chains are being built, and that's how you iterate and how you innovate. So
look at religion. How many? I mean, crypto is a lot like religion. How many flavors of Christianity are there?
100%. Yeah. It's definitely
these things tend to proliferate more than they tend to converge.
Yeah, people want to do their own thing. They want to.
That's right.
Be creative.
That's human nature.
Yeah.
Well, Fig, it's been great having you on. Super excited about stuff we're doing with Squid. I think actually, let me just, like, before I even say goodbye to you here, let me just bring Jake on, and hoping that, hey, Jake, hoping to get into some of the projects that we're building, actually using Squid and elsewhere. I don't know, Fig, can you stay on for a bit?
Yeah, sure. Happy to.
Great. Cool.
Yeah.
So Jake, welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, we've been working with the Squid guys a ton. And I think all of the payment providers that he mentioned before is like, we just have a bunch of different angles to work with applications and essentially just make it as easy as possible for users to interact with those applications, whether they want to do it, via credit card with something like a Kato or a Nova, which then goes through Squid, or directly already from Web3, within your MetaMask wallet into Cosmos in one click or anything like that. Is just really helping out the user experience, and I think it's going to pull a lot of users over. It's also just amazing to have other teams on the ground preaching the good word about Axelar and some of the possibilities of general message passing. Makes our BD efforts much more scalable.
I think in terms of on-ramps, actually, one thing I'll just mention that a lot of people get excited about is the one-time deposit address, which enables basically a DeFi or any kind of decentralized application to provide a deposit address that can accept tokens from any wallet, from any chain, routed cross-chain. That's something actually that as we've been discussing the past month, we've been talking about Axelar, a little less as an overlay network and more as a blockchain that connects blockchains. And I think, that ability to provide that kind of service to spit out a one-time deposit address for an application or for a user is something that is, wouldn't be possible without blockchain logic connecting the connected chains in Axelar. So again, like just coming back to that, like how do you make it so that like the next wave can just bang right into a DeFi app without having to think about it like, okay, I've got to get this wallet, I've got to do this, I've got to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Or like a game, right? I think a lot of the users are going to be coming from games, and like to just make it as easy as possible, whether that's, you know, with a credit card or with a one-time deposit address. I think that's huge.
Totally. I've seen Ready Player One. They didn't, you know, have to like whatever log in with their special wallet when they got the coins from the other players.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the deposit address thing is really powerful. I think yeah, that's on our roadmap. We're adding that in hopefully towards the end of the year, and using Axelar's service there to do it. So.
Great. Yeah. Cool. Well, Jake, let's get into it. I mean, you mentioned games. You know, we've talked a little bit about DeFi. What are some of the projects that are newly part of the Axelar community and that are building, you know, using Squid or otherwise? What's come up in August that's exciting that we want to talk about here?
I think we have like essentially use cases across the board at this point. I think we have a healthy combination of, you know, NFT projects doing cross-chain lending and borrowing, you know, regular DeFi projects doing cross-chain lending and borrowing, NFT launch pads, everything. Yeah. DeFi gaming, metaverse. We just brought on Metafy, which is doing like a financial metaverse.
Yeah. What is that? What is a financial metaverse? That sounds horrifying, or not horrifying, but terrifying.
So you essentially
like a scary metaverse for me to enter.
I mean, if you can imagine going into a metaverse where you're kind of like somebody doesn't really understand DeFi, you can go into a financial metaverse, go into these different storefronts, essentially learn about different financial products that people have, and just make it a little bit, I guess, welcoming, if that's like the right word.
So like Lower Manhattan, basically. Is that right?
Yeah.
But digital. Yeah.
Right. Like maybe you're scared to go talk to your financial advisor or tax accountant, but like when you're an emoji, it feels a little bit different. So
okay, that's cool. No, I like that.
An avatar, not an emoji.
Right. Or whatever. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Your representation. But yeah, I mean, I think across the board, especially with these, you know, like something like the fiat on-ramp, it's like pretty much everybody we speak to, there's always a use case somewhere. We're definitely seeing like a lot of momentum starting to build within the Cosmos ecosystem that I'm really excited about. That's just like an area of my focus. There's just so much activity going on there that blows my mind. It's very hard to keep up with even one ecosystem around here, because there's so much building going on and so many projects coming over.
But we've seen a ton of new stuff in Avalanche as well, right? I think we've seen 3. I'm probably behind on the number. I shouldn't even say a number, but it's at least 3 new subnets on Avalanche that are integrating. Mm-hmm. And also Polygon projects have started to come on in a big way. We've seen a few of those as well, haven't we?
Yep.
Yeah.
Everybody seems to be going towards that model. We're either having, you know, subnets, supernets, shards. And Axelar just seems to be a really good fit for those guys.
Yeah, I think the sort of dApp chain, you know, I think you're looking at basically the success of Cosmos rippling out, right? Cosmos took a long time to figure out to do it right. They did, and now it's happening, and everybody else is like, oh, right, let's do something like that. I don't mean to be like a, you know, pro one ecosystem or another. I think it's exciting to see that kind of you know, cross-pollination.
Totally. Yeah, I think it was like a logical thing to happen. I think when some of these like larger games on Avalanche just start, you know, taking up a 10 block space, et cetera, et cetera. So totally.
Yeah. And I mean, I think, look, it's still early days, right? The jury's still out. I think one of these kind of different ways of approaching that problem, you know, there are different approaches in each ecosystem. It's not just, you know, one copying another. So, you know, I think there's some learning to be had, right, down the road in terms of what ends up being the best approach. And I guess, at least for us, I think that's exactly the kind of innovation that we want to be able to encourage, being sort of chain agnostic and able to connect to any kind of consensus mechanism.
Yeah, I mean, even Say, I think we were talking to them on, I think they mentioned this.
Say network, SEI.
Like they designed their protocol so if like an application on there gets so big, they're just able to fork the network and
tell me about that one. What are they doing? What is
on their own?
What's
so they're doing an on-chain order book, and they're like
okay.
The like fastest chain in DeFi right now, which is really exciting. They're on testnet. We're integrating them right now, but it seems like they're attracting a lot of good like TradFi financial talent. And just
are they building on any kind of layer 0 under, or is it from the ground up layer 1 blockchain?
Cosmos SDK.
They're on Cosmos. Okay,
yeah.
Great. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, but I mean, just another amazing team kind of coming over to the Cosmos ecosystem.
Yeah. Excellent. What about projects that let's call it a couple projects that are building with Squid? Fig, what's I mean, obviously there are many and we're excited about all of them, but like what are some of the ones top of mind that you feel like are doing really cool work right now?
Yeah, I mean, the ones we can, I guess, mention are...
and also that you can mention.
I mean, we'll mention them soon. So Stellar Swap, Tracelaris, two biggest dexes on one on Moonbeam, one on Aurora. I mean, we've got other Beam Swap also on Moonbeam, but so we're building with them to enable cross-chain swaps from their front end. So we integrate them. So if anyone needs to like get onto Moonbeam, access an application over there, then they go through like Stellar Swap's backend that through their contracts. But we also enable that on Stellar Swap's front end, the users can not only just do trades on Moonbeam and add liquidity and whatnot, but also do a trade onto another chain and bridge as well.
What about, we were talking the other day about a pretty cool new project with Pangolin, which is one of the largest exchanges on Avalanche. Do you want to talk a little bit about that? I know it's a little early, but maybe we can drop a little alpha.
Definitely. Yeah. So Pangolin is, they've got an amazing cross-chain vision. I mean, I think they really get this sort of distributed horizontal scaling that we were talking about earlier. And where we're working with them is in the subnets. So you've got, what happens with subnets and Avalanche is that you don't want to have a DEX on every single subnet. Because then you have to, add liquidity to all the tokens. Like if there's 10 subnets for like 100 subnets, you need 100 DEXs and 100 times the amount of capital to like have good prices when you make a swap. So where Squid comes in and where Axelar comes in is that you only have a single DEX on the C chain and the Avalanche C chain, like the main one. And whenever someone on a subnet, like on a game subnet or an NFT one, wants to swap to another token, or if they want to like even get onto that subnet, they can do a multi-hop transaction via Squid and Axelar. So we first bridge onto the C chain, then we do a swap on Pangolin, then we bridge back.
What is that? I mean, that sounds complicated. What does that look like for the user? I mean,
yes,
in the future.
The user, it basically means that they can be on their subnet website and like they can swap to another token in just one click. Like then they have to sign one transaction. They never have to switch networks or anything. They just sign a transaction on the subnet, and everything happens in the background. Yeah. And
security is ultimately provided by Axelar in that. There's no kind of other security provider that's a hop in that process.
Yeah, it's just Axelar.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. I mean, you've got the Avalanche subnets as well that they get. I think there's a security there, but
no, right. There's whoever's on either side of that, right? But in between, right? At least in terms of security,
and decentralization.
You're putting all of that on the Axelar proof of stake validator set, basically.
Yeah, you can be like guaranteed that it's only going to be going through Axelar, and it's fully decentralized, so it's not going to get censored at any point. It's like it's the best solution from what I've done in my research.
Very cool. Well, speaking of research, just to mention, I think Fig, you've been a great contributor in the community as well. So just in terms of ideas and concepts, so really appreciate the work that you're doing at Squid and the kind of the new applications that it's been enabling. It feels like every other deal or partnership we get into is you're popping up in the Telegram group. So I'm really glad to see it.
My Telegram.
I was joking to him the other day. I was like, it's hilarious. It's like we get into an application and then we introduce you, and then he introduces one of the fiat on ramps.
Yeah.
This long. We're just waiting for the next application. We'll see who's next.
Yeah.
Keep passing them on.
We're just swimming together in the school of squid and amongst all the liquidity. Sorry. Okay, let's just no more of that. Thanks very much, Squid. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on. It's fun. Be back.
All right. So next up, I'm gonna bring up community lead Kate and Jake. I hope you'll stay with us for a little while longer, and we can talk community. Kate.
All right. Hey guys.
What's happening? Your internet is working.
I know, it's a miracle. The internet gods have, been very benevolent today.
You stopped running your internet on Solana. I really appreciate that.
That was it. That was
a mistake. Switching. I mean, Comcast is bad, but
yeah, I finally upgraded from dial-up. So
Kate has been in the 80s, and she's back.
Happy New Year 2022. It's great to be here.
So what's new in community? What have you seen? What are we doing that's exciting, and what are people doing that's exciting?
All right. Well, I mean, the event that I'm most excited about is our event with Osmosis tomorrow. It's an ecosystem spotlight. It's fully virtual. It's going to start at 12 p.m. Eastern, which is 4 p.m. UTC. And the idea behind it was we attended OsmoCon at Consensus this year, and it was just a really great showcase of all the cool projects that were being built. It was really nice to be able to talk to the teams one-on-one, kind of get a better feel for what people were building. And we really wanted to bring that to the online community, who's not able or lucky enough to be able to travel to these conferences. So it's a sort of virtual OsmoCon. Really, it's an Axelr Osmosis, ecosystem spotlight. So what does that look like? So we're actually going to offset talks from really cool projects with community games. So we're going to have 3 sort of trivia games. One of them is going to be password. So it's going to be, a chance for our community members, so the Osmosis community and the Axelr community, to come together and to compete on trivia games. And the prizes for that are we're giving away Osmo. We're also giving away 500 AXL tokens, which is really exciting. And we've created an exclusive Osmosis Axelr NFT. So that's going to be some of the prizes. But some of the projects that are presenting, we've got Andromeda, we've got Yieldmos, we've got Omniflix, we have Mars, we have Composable Finance, Leica, and we also have a really exciting virtual fireside chat between Sunny from Osmosis and Sergey, one of the co-founders here at Axelr.
Cool.
So that's happening at 12 p.m. tomorrow. That's 12 p.m. Eastern, which is 4 p.m. UTC. It's going to be streaming live here on Axelar's YouTube. It's also going to be streamed live to our Twitter. And we're going to be streaming it live to Discord, both our Discord and Osmosis's Discord. So
speaking of internet problems, have we done that before? Have we streamed live to Discord? Have we done that once now, or?
We did. Yeah. So if anyone was, yes, it does. Yay.
Interoperability.
Yeah, exactly.
Amazing. I can't even send an email. Wow. I spent 3 hours yesterday trying to send an email.
The newsletter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, if speaking of Discord, if you want to just tune along, tune in live, follow along live, tune into our YouTube, tune into Twitter. But if you actually do want to kind of get involved and play these trivia games for the chances to win, like I said, AXL token, Osmo token, as well as one of these exclusive NFTs, hop into either our Discord or Osmosis's Discord. And we'll have 3 games of trivia.
Very cool.
And so you'll be able to hop into the voice channel, and there's a chat function that we'll be using to kind of collect answers. And
OsmoCon was awesome IRL, by the way, for something that came together like over the course of, I don't know, like 8 days.
Yeah.
In the amidst like the sort of leftover unused event contracts of what was going to be a Terra conference.
Yeah.
Right. And on the side of Consensus, right, in Austin. Mm-hmm. And it was I think it's one of those things where like expectations were non-existent.
Yeah.
But it turned out to be a really great event, just a good it's about 300 or 400 people, about the right size, actually. Smart folks, everybody kind of doing the right thing, really easy to meet people working on really exciting projects.
Yeah.
Actually, Jake, I'm curious to hear from your perspective in terms of like what, Osmosis has been such a great partner. We've done a lot of great things with them. What's new there? What are we doing with Osmosis or with other projects related to Osmosis in that kind of corner of the Cosmos ecosystem? It's a large corner.
I think so right now where we're at in Cosmos is essentially we can move assets into and out of the Cosmos ecosystem, similar to what we can essentially do over on the Polkadot ecosystem too right now, which we can only really go into Moonbeam. We're actually working on an interesting wrapper over there that should be ready in a couple of weeks. Well, it's in testnet. So we can start actually moving assets around to different parachains. But as of right now, I think that there's, for like those, the fiat to crypto stuff is coming out of that zone in the Cosmos.
Yeah.
But I think generally, like
you mentioned a couple of those projects earlier, right? The fiat to crypto on ramps. We just started working with one of them.
Yeah, it's Kato and Noba are the ones.
Kato and Noba. Yeah, that's right. Noba is the newer of the two, I think, right? Yep. Yeah, very cool.
So once the general message passing is enabled for all of the Cosmos chains to EVM chains, I think we're really going to see a lot of pretty awesome use cases coming out of the Cosmos, and some real like omni-chain applications that are leveraging the ability to do that from the Cosmos chains into the EVM zones.
Very cool. Very cool. What else we have going on? That's kind of an event. We're going to talk about events in a minute. Eli's going to come on and chat about that. But Kate, anything else in the community side that you want to highlight before we move into that area?
Yeah, so this is another kind of pseudo event, but we've started to do demo nights on our Discord on Wednesdays. So the first one we had was this Wednesday, and we had the 3 Avalanche subnet gaming projects that we partnered with. So that was Heroes of NFT, Pocket Worlds, and Pyroverse. So they came on, again, live on YouTube, live on Twitter, and then streamed right into Discord, demonstrating their platform, doing walkthroughs, and then giving a little bit of alpha of like how to get involved, when their testnet was going to launch. My hope with not only these demo nights, but also the event, that we're doing with Osmosis tomorrow is to kind of give some context behind the partnerships, right? We're moving so fast. We're announcing so many new partnerships. There's so much kind of going on that, you can kind of just get lost in all the updates. So for me, it's a great opportunity to show the community, not only what people are building kind of hands-on, but what you can do with it, how you can get involved. And really add some context behind all the great work that the BD team and everyone really is doing. Yeah, that's the kind of the big community updates. The learn and code sessions will be back soon. We're going to be bringing on some cool partners to help support those.
I would say the best place to get involved with all this is definitely our Discord.
Yeah.
You can find the link there too upon our website. If you're just looking for something easy, it's discord.gg/Axelar.
Yeah.
That's G as in golf.
Yeah. We're going to start streaming, trying to stream all the events into Discord as well, to give people an opportunity to just live on Discord and not miss out on any of the events.
That just sounds so great. Live on Discord. All right. Awesome. I'd rather live there than Telegram, to be honest. Like, let's be real. Yep. Okay. Well, Jake, thanks for joining us. I'm gonna dial you out and bring in Eli to talk about some of the upcoming events where people can see your smiling and handsome face.
Cool. See you guys. Thank you.
See you.
Bye, Jake.
Hey guys, how we doing?
Hey, Eli.
Yeah.
Event time.
Event time.
Yes.
What are we doing? What did we do? What did we do in August? August is not the cruelest month when it comes to events. The cruelest month.
We held it down.
Is coming up.
We did some good stuff nonetheless.
No, what I mean is it's cruel to have to travel. That's what I mean.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. But we did some stuff, right? We did some stuff anyway, even though it's kind of a slow month. We did some good stuff, right?
We did a bunch of stuff up in Toronto. So we were co-sponsors of both ETH Toronto, a couple day long hackathon, which was running right alongside Canada's largest crypto event, the Futurist Conference. So we had a booth there. A number of team members were up there, met a lot of different people. Sergey had a great presentation up on the main stage. We got some really interesting hackathon projects that came out of that. So that was kind of one event series that we did. We also did our first Axelar Toronto. So kind of a series of casual meetups that we're starting. We did that in partnership with Bitcoin Bay. So I had a bunch of different community members come out from the Toronto area, which was really great. Did a little technical workshop, ate some pizza, introduced our robot mascot, and called it a night. So it was a good few events.
Wait a minute. Rewind the tape. Robot mascot.
You heard it. Heard it right. We've got a robot mascot. We've created a physical representation of this character that is actually set up on a magnetic levitation device. So if you join us for some of our upcoming events, which I'll get into in just a sec, you will see this thing live floating in space. And it's pretty badass.
You have to sign a waiver in order to come within 20 meters of the robot.
I've actually just purchased some pretty serious security
safe robot
stuff to keep this guy safe. Yeah. So what do we got coming up? We got a lot coming up in September, both virtual and in real life. Virtual first. We're actually in the middle of running a month-long hackathon with one of our partners, Moonbeam. So that is, live right now. You can sign up. You can, win up to $50,000 in bounty prizes. And then we also have a similar type of activity called a Build-a-thon, which is getting run through Flipside Crypto. Registrations are still open for that. We've got some really interesting submissions already, but you can still get involved, and there's some really great bounty prizes for that as well. So those are the two kind of virtual events in addition to the ones that Kate just mentioned. And then we've got some big events coming up in real life. So September 16th, we're going to be up in Waterloo for Hack the North, which is the largest college hackathon in the world. And we're going to be actually hosting an event that is not yet officially scheduled, but heads up if you're going to be there on the 15th with the U Waterloo Blockchain Club. So that should be a really good time before the actual hackathon kicks off in earnest. And then the very next week, the team is going to be in New York City for Masari Mainnet. So we've got a booth. We've got a side event we're hosting, Axelar NYC. We're going to be at a bunch of different places. So I would say if you're going to be at Mainnet, definitely keep an eye on our events section in the Discord. And you can see what we've got coming up, day by day while we're there. And then finally, we've got the Converge Conference that Circle is putting on in San Francisco. Sergey is going to be speaking there. And then Jake is actually going to be down at Cosmoverse in Medellin, Colombia that same week. So that's the week of the 26th, I believe. So yeah, we got a lot going in September.
No doubt. So where can people go to find out? Actually, the best place, right, is on the Discord events channel right now. Yep. We have a new website. If you haven't seen it, just go check it out because the design is awesome. A new logo, new whole visual, new thing. And I think if you missed it, we actually talked with the designer from Vector DAO, Adam, who worked on that, and had a nice conversation with him. Was it about a month ago? Where we talked about what, the whole visual system and everything there. But yeah, for now, until we get that new events page up on the new site, the Discord events channel, and I'll just post in the chat right here, the invite link to the Discord. If you go there, go into the events channel, you can see everything that's coming up. Yeah.
Cool.
Hope to see you there. New York.
Yes, it is our second time, actually. The first conference we ever officially went to was Mainnet last year in New York. So
that's right. I was there.
Round two should be with a much bigger team. Yeah, the first time it was me, Con, I think Connor joined like, less than a month before. And it was like, go man the booth, go talk Axelr. So it's gonna be really exciting to come back with a big team this time. And
I'll be interested to hear your impressions actually from last year to this on mainnet, and also kind of everything we've learned. I've been surprised by some of the conferences we've been to. I'll say like Consensus, I was very pleasantly surprised by the quality of the traffic at the booth, the level of sophistication of the questions we were answering. There were definitely some tourists, but I'm sort of interested to see what will, these big conferences. I always feel like, general conferences, it's always a little bit of a mixed bag. So very interested to kind of take the temperature of the entire ecosystem. Again this year.
Mainnet's always a great conference, and
thanks
to Eli, Yara, it's definitely going to be a little bit more organized than it was last year.
And a bigger booth. Yeah. Cool. Oh, Sergey's speaking as well. Sergey's on a panel. If you go to the agenda page, you'll find it. It's a panel on bridges and why they could be terrible.
Well, why ours isn't, and why we're technically on bridge.
Of course. Cool. All right. Well, Kate, thank you. Community events stuff. Eli, you stay on with me for a minute. We'll introduce a new team member here, I think. Ooh, exciting.
Awesome.
All right.
Bye, guys.
See you, Kate. Okay. So welcome, Ian Morgan.
How's it going?
Good. I'm getting a little thirsty. I didn't bring any water.
That's on you, Galen.
I felt one of the classic blunders.
Yeah, we can carry water bottles and leave them at everyone's station.
Yeah, that's right. Actually, you know what? My son left my Axelar water bottle at camp.
No.
No. Yes.
Brutal.
Anyway,
someone's going to be early.
That's right. So Ian is you're our new social media manager. Welcome to the team.
That I am.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, totally. My name's Ian. I'm from Seattle, Washington. So kind of joined Axelar recently in the last month. But I've kind of have just like a wide range of experience in marketing, kind of all the way down from email marketing to social to content creation, that sort of thing. But yeah, so previously to Axelar, I was at Bittrex and Eddie Bauer as well, doing various marketing things. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. But yeah, excited to be here.
Tell us about your side projects.
Oh yeah, I guess I'm yeah, totally. I'll just like briefly go over like my side interests.
We should have put this in the intro because it's like a good build up.
Yeah, I don't know if any of you have heard of pickleball, but I am like very, very deep in that space as well. So like I don't know if it's just like the common theme of like emerging trends and emerging like new forms of like entertainment and tech that is like what kind of interests me. But it seems to be the pattern. So pickleball is like a relatively new sport. It's like kind of playing, a good analogy is like playing ping pong on the table. So it's like a larger court, smaller than a tennis court, and played with almost like a wiffle ball type ball. But it was invented kind of over in my neck of the woods in the Pacific Northwest. But yeah, so I've just kind of been playing that since I was younger and all the way until now. So
you're a pickleball organizer, right?
I am. Yeah.
Entrepreneur.
Yeah, I'm
I don't know if you want to drop a little alpha about what you're building.
Yeah, totally. So I'm currently I'm only doing it manually until I can actually build something out that does it for me. But I'm coordinating like games and tournaments and seasons for players kind of in Seattle. So
cool.
So kind of rallying the troops on Discord, which is kind of a unique place for pickleball to go because it is so skewed from an age perspective towards like older folks. So I think I'm kind of building this more for like younger generation kind of coming into pickleball, familiar with Discord, understands like the power of Discord as like a community builder. So kind of building the beta to a beta in Discord using various Discord bots and that sort of thing until I can actually stand up an app with a community to use as like a sounding board to build it.
Yeah.
So
no, that's interesting. I mean, I like Discord, but I mean, I guess, it's a good point. Like for some users, it's a barrier.
Yeah, it can
Some
totally
users
be a
think that's
barrier.
not what they want to experience.
Yeah, so the goal is to make that like as seamless as possible, right? Like,
Yeah.
and for most Discords that you join, you have kind of like a welcome and then a start here where you get familiar with everything. So I think it'll be kind of utilizing a lot of different tactics and strategies to make sure people are familiar with it as they're joining and understand like Discord goes beyond games. It's like really, you know, a community place for community building. So
I'll say for myself, like the thing
goes
that
beyond
becomes
games and
overwhelming
crypto.
is the number of channels on a server.
Yeah.
You go into a
Yeah.
server and there's like,
Totally.
oh my God,
Yeah.
1,500 things in here. I think we've done a good job making our Discord server a little better
Yeah, for sure.
in terms of allowing people to curate and say, I'm really just interested in this. I'm a satellite user. I'm a validator. I'm a
Exactly. Yeah.
you know, developer, fill in the blank, and not have
Yeah.
everything else exposed to them. But like as an admin, you go in there and everything's in front of you, and it's like, oh my God, I can't.
It's a lot. Yeah. I know. I feel like sorting through those
I need
channels
the, I
in
need
my
the
first week
pickleball
was
version of Axelar. I'm sorry, of Discord, of Axelar Discord.
yeah.
I'm like playing Serena, you know, in a
Yeah.
singles match, and I need the pickleball version.
Yeah.
Maybe we
No,
can
no, it's a
work
good
on that.
end goal for what I want to like build is just like a social layer for pickleball. So creating like the ideal chat as one of our products for pickleball related
That'd be
stuff.
cool.
So yeah, something I
Cool.
feel like I can specialize in. So that's where I'm going.
Well,
Yeah.
Ian, excited to have you aboard.
Yeah.
And you
Excited
know,
to
I
be
think
here.
you've been doing great work on the socials. I feel like our, you know, the quality and the volume of content has improved across multiple platforms, especially Twitter.
Definitely.
So yeah, great to have you here.
Awesome.
Eli, what's left? Have we covered everything? Is this we're like 20 minutes overtime? Mostly
I think we hit our topics. Yeah.
Yeah,
We had
okay.
a lot. We had a lot to cover. We got a lot coming up. So yeah.
All right. Well, let's wrap it here then. Thanks everybody for joining. Thanks for the questions that came in the chat. You know, for those of you who missed part of it, this will be available on our YouTube channel. And you know, of course, you can, you know, catch up with the next update coming via email newsletter. You can sign up on the website at axelar.network. Join the Discord server if Telegram's more your thing. We have a Telegram channel as well. So yeah. Thanks everybody.
Thank you. Later, y'all.